Saturn day, or whatever day it is when you're seeing this. Hello and welcome to Kaichi Alchemy. You can call me Kachi. This is a space of love, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the cosmos. Welcome or welcome back. I want to talk about Aries today. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing this astrology or the zodiac collection for a minute now, and it's something that I don't have quite as much historical knowledge of, and so it's been a little bit of an edge for me, but I'm glad to be here. I've been feeling into it, thinking about starting at different points in the wheel, and I really feel like Aries is where it's at, just right at the beginning this time. So I want to thank y'all for showing up. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for co-creating community with me. I appreciate the comments, the shares, the subscribes, the likes, as they help me to expand my reach and excuse me, help more people. Okay, I'm just noticing a little catch in my throat there. I was kind of like holding my breath a little bit when I started. I recently posted a short that was related to Aries energy about Mullen and focusing more on your breath than the words that you are forming and putting together to give to people. Words can be important, but sometimes your energy just being that potent and grounded makes the specifics less important and less, necessary. So this is going to be a collective message. It will not resonate with everybody. I encourage you to connect with whatever truly connects with you and with your soul and with your energy. Here we're going to do a brief one conscious breath meditation. So we're going to break the rules of the internet and go completely silent for a moment here. So you can put like a hand on your heart, maybe on your belly, taking a deep breath in, holding at the top for a moment, and exhaling. Just dropping into that heart space. You can give it a little sigh if you want to. Let me see if this one will even light, because we're getting quite close to the bottom here. I feel like there's a message in that, like there might be something that you're doing or focusing on, or maybe not even focusing on, but doing in some capacity that is coming to a close. And when old things end, then new things can begin. Sometimes we do a little bit of that simultaneously. Oh, you can't see that other candle. There's another candle over there, just FYI. All right. Today, we are gonna be using this Osho Zen Tarot. It's still got the wrapper on it, so it's a little reflective. Sorry about that. Literally just got this one, haven't even opened it yet. Feels very, very appropriately Aries. Also, I don't think it's currently at this very moment, but we just went from the moon in Aries to the moon in Taurus, which is interesting and could be relevant to, if you are in some fire energy and in some Aries energy, you may or may not be, I don't know if I would say needing, but coming into a space of either benefiting from or just naturally focusing more on your body, on your senses, on your environment, on just like chillaxing. And sometimes that energy isn't thought of in an Aries, under an Aries lens. But again, kind of like that Mullen video, the more grounded and centered in that you are, the more authentic, the more magnetic, the more strong and powerful and clarified and you know, all kinds of good things that are Aries related, you can become. So a lot of people think of Aries in more like this negative polarity of kind of like, I'm gonna get something done at all costs, by any means, even if I have to step on other people to get there. And there's a fine line between being dedicated to something and not being overly reactive to other people's thoughts, words, emotions, actions, like just not being too reactive to other people. And then being totally callous and 100% honed in on your goal to the point where you don't even realize you're probably not going to appreciate and enjoy it when you get it, because what you really want is something deeper and less direct and obvious than the thing you're going off after. And Aries loves direct and obvious and straightforward, let's go, go, go. But before I start this, I'm gonna have you slow down, feel into your body, scan your body, feel, what does my forehead feel like? What does my jaw feel like? What does my neck feel like? And continue that way. Take some breaths. And I did get a couple of downloads specifically towards this reading, and one of them I'm kind of blanking on at the moment, so it may or may not be important, may or may not come back. But a big one was, you know, I always tend to start these readings invoking my guides. So I'll usually do some smoke or some spray or something of that nature. And then you might have seen me, thank you Freya, thank you Folly, thank you Michael, thank you Mary. Please be here with us now and allow me to channel what the collective needs to hear for Aries' greatest and highest good and that of the collective. Of humanity was what I was gonna say, but I stopped because, you know, we're part of a big community, not just the very closely related ones. So in any case, those four elements for me are kind of like the child, the mother, the father, and then behind me is more like spirit. It's not, you know, it's everywhere, it's nowhere. It's kind of like the messenger of God that, you know, we can't actually comprehend or connect to. Spirit's kind of like a little, I don't know, like a little walkie-talkie energy that comes in there. And so the mother, the father, mother's child energy was coming through to me specifically for this reading, and I got this image of Michael, the head, the fire, the logic and the thought, bowing down to the heart, and I saw kind of like an ankh. That's oftentimes something that people speak about in relation to the ankh, about it symbolizing your mind's submission to your heart. And so Aries is the head. It's like when your baby is crowning, like that's the beginning of this story arc. And so this is kind of, in my mind, a masculine energy. I don't particularly subscribe to masculine and feminine being about men and women, male and female, as much as the qualities of it, which we all have. But so this archetype is Michael, the logical mind, submitting to the heart. It can also be the father submitting to the mother, because, well, we can get into that some other day. But I think the basic thing that would apply to all of y'all is, or most of y'all, if this is resonating so far, is that you would do well to, you would benefit from, you would come more into your power and the things you're trying to create if you work on learning to take your mind and shift it so that it is in a position of submission to your heart space, so that your logic is in submission and in service of your intuition. Okay, so we are gonna be short and sweet here today. I've literally never opened this deck, so it's gonna be interesting because usually you have kind of like an energetic relationship to it. Okay, oh wow, whoa. Okay, so I was gonna get 3 cards, and the second round just had 2 come out. I'm still learning how to read these because they don't say the suits on them, but I can look them up. So we got Celebration. I believe that's 3 of Cups. That would seems typical. So you are getting ready to come into a space of celebration, maybe finding your soul tribe and finding environments and activities that are, fulfilling and aligned to you, which may be kind of a newer experience if you've struggled with that in the past. And then these are the other 2 cards that came out at the same time. Man, they are so shiny, just inherently, that they do have a lot of card glare. Sorry about that. But let's see, so this is the Osho Zen Tarot. I think it's interesting that we started with this Osho deck. And you can look him up if you're interested, but Osho energy is very much like a spearheading energy, a rebel energy, an energy of somebody who probably has pretty good intentions, but isn't perfect and can easily be influenced in maybe not so much of a positive way by the people in your circle. And so I'm really getting a message about being selective, being intentional when it comes to your 3 of Cups energy, to your community, to your friendships, to the things that you do for fun, recreation, for your free time. Just, don't hide like a hermit to avoid those problems, but remain super mindful, especially if you are successfully spearheading a community or an activity or what have you. Okay, so the minor arcana here starts on page 35. Yes. Okay. So that starts with fire. I love how it's so hard to find in this book because there's no there's really no, I don't know how to explain it, but the way the guidebook's written, you kind of have to take a less linear path to finding things. Okay, so these 2 cards, these other ones after Celebration, came Fighting and Mind. Interesting. So you may have some mental turmoil going on about the subject of friends and community and your general environment. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna find Fighting and Mind. Here it is, it's right on here. Okay, so Fighting was this card 2 here, and I'm just gonna read straight from the guidebook for a minute. There's a commentary here. The figure in this card is completely covered in armor. Only his glare of rage is visible and the whites of the knuckles on his clenched fists. If you look closely at the armor, you can see it's covered with buttons ready to detonate if anybody so much as brushes up against them. In the background, we see the shadowy movie that plays in this man's mind. Two figures fighting over a castle. An explosive temper or a smoldering rage often masks a deep feeling of pain. We think that if we frighten people away, we can avoid being hurt even more. In fact, just the opposite is the case. By covering our wounds with armor, we are preventing them from being healed. By lashing out at others, we keep ourselves from getting the love and nourishment we need. If this description seems to fit you, it's time to stop fighting. There is so much love available to you if you just let it in. Start by forgiving yourself. You're worth it. One moment it was there, another moment it is gone. One moment we are here, and another moment we have gone. And for this simple moment, how much fuss we make, how much violence, ambition, struggle, conflict, anger, hatred, just for this small moment, just waiting for the train in a waiting room on a station and creating so much fuss, fighting, hurting each other, trying to possess, trying to boss, trying to dominate, all that politics. And then the train comes and you are gone forever. Yeah, see if I can get a better shot of that here. And this fighting card is, I didn't say it before, the Knight of Clouds, which I would imagine is the Swords suit. Okay, so sometimes when we're spearheading things, when we're the forerunner of something, we're not gonna know the lay of the land. It's like bushwhacking energy. We're not always gonna know what the symbols around us mean exactly, so we have to really hone into our intuition to do the best that we can, because if we don't, we're never gonna figure it out and get there unless some like magical teacher comes down from a cloud. And that really taps into guru energy. And so that's interesting because Osho was kind of considered a guru in a way. And I think he considered himself such. But something that's really important that has been coming to me a lot is that a guru is not a person. It's not like somebody's body and their ego and their existence right here. A guru is an archetype, an energy, a consciousness that has been developed over a long stretch of time that you can channel. That's what channeling is. And so it doesn't mean that that knowledge and wisdom exactly comes from you yourself, but it's more you tapping into your higher self and into spirits and entities and things that are going to help lead you. And sometimes that can be misused if you don't have good discernment and judgment about who to choose, and that's why we have so many cults and stuff. And the jury's still kind of out on whether Osho's community was a cult or not. He passed away in the 90s. There is a documentary on Netflix about the whole thing that I feel is fairly balanced if you feel called to that, to look into it at all. Okay, so we have celebration, fighting, and mind. And mind is the same element as fighting, but there's no numbers on these cards. That's so interesting. Okay, this is the very next one. So it's fighting, mind. These were probably right next to each other still from when they were all in order in the deck. So sometimes things work out 1, 2, 3 in a routine, orderly way, but not always, and it's not necessary. I am not going to read this whole entire thing because it's very long, but because what is this, Page of Clouds? So we have the Knight of Clouds and the Page of Clouds. Oh, interesting. So we're going from Knight of Air into Page of Air, which is going down the ladder, kind of. So this is giving me the energy of developing a beginner's mind in regards to relationships, in regards to this Three of Cups energy. And I feel like that is the message right there. Keep it short and sweet. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I look forward to seeing you for the next one. And thank you for putting up with all of the hiccups here, but I think some good stuff was in there. Let me know down below if anything resonated with you, and I'll see you next time.